Alrighty, hello everybody, 01 of 1 here. How's it going? Yeah, so I'm here seeing if I can move some stuff around a little bit. And my tongue is still healing, so if it sounds like I'm slurring my words, that is why. And in case you weren't already aware, I bit my tongue pretty freaking hard about 3 days ago, and it's just now starting to heal, so... Yeah, it hurts to talk, so that's not fun. And it hurts to eat, you know. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, so, first issue. This doesn't, this won't fit. It's too wide. I mean, I could maybe flip it upwards. That might be something that I could do. I know, I need the K menu. Let's see, hinge for the drill, if I could spell. Okay, and then we want this to go negative. And I don't know how far up that's gonna go. Hopefully it won't break anything, but it might, I don't know. Okay, that's kind of what I got. All right. Okay, so can we finagle ourselves around here? Yes, we can. Okay. Now, the only bad thing is I'm definitely not going to be able to fit on that, on the elevator. It's too narrow. That is kind of unfortunate. All right. Okay, we got over it. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do for this. But as you can see, I did get both chains done on either side. And I have tested this a few times, so I do know that it does work. Yeah, there's no way that's going to fit. Well... what do I do? I suppose something I could do is disconnect it and then just kind of store it, you know, by itself, I guess. But I'm gonna need something that can actually grab onto it and carry it, though. And I don't think I have anything that is that powerful, because those drills are gonna be really heavy. So I've got, yeah, that vehicle is not going to be, I mean, that can barely get itself up as it is. This one doesn't have any mag plates on it, and that wouldn't be strong enough anyways. Well, no, this one might be strong enough. Maybe. This would most definitely be strong enough, but I don't have any kind of mag plates or anything on here. So, I mean, I can make a new vehicle, I suppose. I mean, just the base of this thing is probably good enough. Now, another thing that I could do is just leave this up here and build another one of these for down there. That actually might be my best option. So, yeah, I guess I'll do that. Now I need the K menu. Hinge. We will reverse. And then I think this was supposed to be -10. But then again, I'm not going to be able to get past these rocket launchers unless maybe I can. Okay. As far as drones go, I did have another large drone come in. It didn't really do too much in the way of damage, though. I had a couple of small drones come in as well. I think ever since the mod got updated, the number of incoming drones that I've seen has gone down a lot. Something, and they probably changed something, but I mean that's fine for me because it makes things a little bit easier. All right, and now, ooh, hey there, Mr. Bulldog. I need to move around you. Ooh, okay. Whoa, okay. Alright, so we will get this guy just kind of back pretty much straight into here, and I think that'll be good. And then we'll put this in park, call it good. Okay. So I'll build something else for down there. And then I'll kind of, actually, I'm going to bring something along so I can kind of fly around a little bit. We'll bring this guy. I like this guy. All right, so let's head over there. Alright, and then we'll put that on charge. Okay, so that will go and do its thing. So what I've got here is a little hinge setup, and that's hooked onto these plates right here. And that just kind of makes it like a more gradual thing going from the actual base to the actual elevator here. And then all we need to do, hit that button, and we start moving down. So it is a little jerky. But then again, you know, normal elevators are a little jerky too. So, and then I also put some windows down here so you can kind of see about how far down we have to go. And it does reach all the way down there, which is nice. And then if at any time I want to stop this, I just hit that button, and that's chain pistons on off. And then this just reverses them. So it's just a 2-button operation. It's pretty simple. It does take a while to get down here though, which is kind of the only bad thing, but that's given the constraints of the system. If I make it go too fast, like the hinges can't keep up. So then it's like they get stuck and then you end up dropping like, 20 meters and then they get stuck again. And that's kind of like being on a bungee cord. And I think that's a little bit too much stress. Okay, what's going on? Okay. And then every once in a while we get it getting stuck, which is weird. And then you just got to reverse it a little bit until it gets unstuck, and then resume. And I'm not sure what it's getting stuck on. I mean, this is all smooth, like there is no edges for this to get stuck on, so I'm not really sure what's going on with this. It's just weird. And you can see we've got about a half block of space on either side, and it does kind of bounce in between the things, but it doesn't actually do any damage to anything, and the hinges work just fine. And then also a quick note on the hinges, as long as I'm here. All of the hinges are currently on, and they currently have 3,500, what is it, kilonewton meters or something like that. So, and that's just to keep, as you can see, they are whipping around kind of a lot. And that's to try to limit that as much as possible, but as you can see, it doesn't really help all that much. But I mean, it doesn't do any damage to the hinges, so it does work, as expected. It's not the smoothest ride down. As you can see, it kind of drops a little bit, and then it pauses, then it drops a little bit, and then it pauses, then it drops a little bit. So we're going down about 2.5 meters at a time. And then we'll go ahead and just kind of fly out here and watch it a little bit. Oh no! Okay. I thought it got stuck right as I left. That would have been bad. But yeah, so you can see it just a nice steady drop. And then to take a look at what's happening over here. So, whoa, hey. What the seriously? What the hell was that? What? Okay. I don't even know what that was. That was like a delayed reaction. Yeah, I need this guy in here quickly, preferably. And we'll drop it down to there. But why? It doesn't make any sense. And I gotta reset everything, but that's just, it's dumb. But yeah, so you can see the basic mechanism here. I did add an extra wheel here to kind of keep the chain inside of here. So the issues that I was having before is that this would kind of swing on the outside, and that's, you know, not a good thing. And now that should be all the way down at the bottom. So, I mean, the pistons, they retract slowly enough, but because of the way that, you know, hinges work, it doesn't really, I don't know. It's not the smoothest action in the world. And then give it enough time and these hinges will actually kind of control themselves as well. And then all we got to do now is just hop down here. And you can see we are at the bottom. I did put some stuff in here on the sides. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah, so we have a little 2x1 tip in there. And that's just when this thing drops down and it kind of sits about 1/2 meter above this block here. Those just kind of keep it from swinging too much back and forth. And yeah, so this is the bottom. And then the next thing that I have to do is go out a little bit because we are pretty much at the bottom of where we could do given, you know, the mountain and everything. So I have to build a platform out and then do another smaller elevator to get down into like this area here, and I'll build some sort of base here or whatever. And then that's going to go out towards the hydro mine to the base of the mountain base, and then we'll build another larger elevator there. So that's kind of what's going on. What I was trying to do down here is to create some protection for this. So in case anything does launch any missiles at this, it will have at least a little bit of protection for all the pieces and parts. But yeah, that's basically how it works. It does work actually really, really well. It's just a little, it's not the smoothest thing in the world. And so it is mounted from this side, right? So that's the mount. So this part of the chain will never move. And then it goes down here, and then it goes around that, and then up, and then over, and then down. And then the reason why I did it that way is because then the pistons only have to cover half of the distance that the actual elevator has to cover. And it does require a little bit more power on the pistons in order to manage that, but pistons have so much power anyways that it's not even an issue. So that's what I got. It does work, and it is interesting. And so if you're trying to do this yourself, you want the pistons fully extended to go down about 3/4 of the way of your total distance, and that's because, as you can see, with the pistons all the way retracted, they still do take up, you know, a decent amount of space. So if we go out and look at kind of like the whole length of this thing, and we'll do it on the bright side so we can actually kind of see it. Okay, so you can see where that is right there, and that's kind of like the bottom of it. And then, so we're going down about 3/4 of, actually probably a little more than 3/4 of the total distance. But if you take the pistons, which end about there, so you can see that, and you were to add it on to this right here, then it kind of covers the total length, which, I don't know. So then the actual movable section of this is from this point right here, which is, like I said, about a quarter of the way down. We're moving halfway down to the third quarter, or the fourth quarter, I should say. So that we don't have to cover, and then this is covered by the pistons themselves when they're retracted. So yeah, and then make sure that you have guides in here. So I've got some wheels acting as guides up here, and that's just to make sure the chain stays tight and it doesn't kind of slide back and forth at all. And then these rotors right there are set to off, so they just spin freely. There isn't enough room to put another rotor in on the other side and connect it from both sides, so you just have to rely on just one rotor to cover the entire weight, which, you know, they're strong enough to do that, so it's not really a big issue. Then I have another rotor and wheel here, and that's just repeated over here. And then to keep the wheels from getting taken apart by the build and repair unit, I put a little control panel on them. So that way they're considered a smart grid, and then they won't get, you know, taken apart. Because if these get taken apart, yeah, trying to fix this is going to be ridiculous. So you got to think ahead when you're doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's kind of the elevator as it is. And as you can see, it does go down quite a ways. Would this have been easier with the pistons and the rotor heads? There's an elevator design like that. Odds are, yeah, it probably would be. But that just has one battery. Okay. Enable recharge. There we go. And then also block tools. That guy and this guy. And the connector. Switch lock. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just turn that off and call it good. But yeah, and then also another thing that I did is these are all heavy armor blocks. And so this in combination with the batteries, and these batteries are acting kind of like as a storage for the entire thing. So they are slowly getting additional storage, or additional power storage. I don't know. It's something. But yeah, so even with both of these rows of batteries right here, this wasn't heavy enough to offset the weight of all of those hinges. So instead of having light armor blocks, I went with heavy armor blocks for all of this. And that was enough weight to offset this. So even empty or just carrying me, this thing can still go up and down. So it's kind of how that was going. And it is thundering outside. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what I got. I think for the next elevator that I have to do, the shorter one, I'm gonna try the piston and rotor head one and kind of see if I can get that to work the way that I want it to work. We will see. And I don't know, I might do some modifications on it or something like that, but as you can see now, the hinges, they're barely swinging now. So, and that's like, the reason for that is because they have a little bit of power going through them. So they're putting a little bit of force on here, which is kind of preventing the worst of the waving, I guess. But yeah, so now all I have to do is build out a platform this way. And that's why I have this guy. And also, I do have access to, oh, actually I don't have access to it. Thought I did. But there is a build and repair unit down here, and there is that up there. So if I really need pieces and parts, I can just bring this up to that. Actually, that might be a good idea. I'll just kind of bring this up there to begin with. And then I'll just fly wherever I need to. Then we'll go probably right there. And that'll work just fine. So you can see that we're a little crooked right now. There is an equal number of hinges, but as you can see, like with the more it swings, like the more room it takes up, I guess. Whereas I think this one isn't really swinging all that much right now. So as this thing settles down, it should level out a little bit better. Should. I don't know if it will or not, but it should. All right. Now let's see what we can do here. All right. Then I need this guy in here. Is that gonna work? Oh, good, it's gonna work. Nice. Sometimes it decides that it doesn't want to work. And then we can do... And then I need... this guy, put that there. Okay, and then I need this guy. All right. So that'll work for that, and then that's going to be even roughly with this. So I'm going to go with... Should I do a 45? Would that work? I mean, it should work. So I'm going to put this in here at a 45 to sort of make it fit the elevator floor a little better. And then in order to make sure that this kind of goes in there properly and it slides in, I'm going to put that in there as well. And then that way, when this thing does come down, it should be guided towards the middle, and it should hopefully work. And then we'll build this out. And then as far as this goes, I suppose we can go out to there. And then something I'm kind of thinking of doing is to put a break between this base and that base up there, because if this is all just like one huge continuous base, it could cause issues. So the way that I'm going to do that this is going to be interesting, but so we'll have that there. And then as far as how to connect the next set of stuff, I'm thinking it's going to have to be on a subgrid, but that subgrid is going to have to extend down into the ground. And I don't know if it'll let me do that, but I'm going to try it anyways. So we're going to grab a hinge. That'll be fine. And then from here, we can build off of a subgrid. And then we'll throw in this guy here. Or no, I should probably do this as a rotor. Yeah, because with the rotor I can kind of push it out a little bit more if I need to, which I think I am going to need to. Or now that I think about it, what if I just swung it outwards, right? I mean, that would work. But I would need access to this guy. which I could sort of build a tiny little axis, but because like I have to be able to like hop out of this thing, and that's going to be questionable. Okay. So then we will swing this guy out. No, other way. Something like that. And then we can put in the connector now. At least we should be able to. Oh, it's got to rotate. There we go. Okay, and then we can do this kind of the rest of the way. And then all I would need to do now is to swing this back into place, or swing it down to 0 degrees, and then lock those things, and then we should be fine. So we will make our upper limit 0, and we will increase. Okay, so that's all it's going to let me do. I mean, that should be fine. And then if I increase the torque, maybe I can make it go a little stronger. I mean, it's definitely stronger. Ooh, no, we do want a little bit of torque there. Okay. And then, hopefully this will let me out. Okay, good. And then from here, all we have to do is lock this. And then we can get rid of the hinge and everything else over here. At least I think that's how this is supposed to work. Oh, crap. That is not what I wanted to do at all. That's what happens when you hit the wrong buttons. Okay. Suppose I can take the long way around. But yeah, don't hit the wrong buttons when you are trying to fly around. It's never good. Okay. There we go. And now just need a little hop up. Okay. So Control G, I think I hit F before. All right. Okay, so now that that is there, we need to get this thing into the ground pretty much as soon as possible. And I don't know if it'll let me do it, because this is considered a subgrid. So I might actually get things might blow up if I try, but we will see. Really? I just... Grr. This is just getting ridiculous now. Alright, so does it let me? It does not. Okay. So I kind of figured that was going to happen. But we can still kind of make it work, maybe. If we get rid of that hinge, then it's no longer considered a subgrid. At least it shouldn't be considered a subgrid. So now the hard part is going to be getting rid of the hinge without getting rid of everything else. Honestly, I don't even know how I'm going to do that. Oh, I'm still like way off. Okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, so now that that is no longer, let me just get these things built up real quick. Here we go. Okay, so that should no longer be considered a subgrid, hopefully. So now I should be able to build this into the ground. Nope. Okay. So we're gonna have to get a little creative, I think. How am I gonna do this? Okay, so it's not gonna let me do that. If I do it like this, then those two are exactly lined up. Oh, crap. Right. Control. I need to make it a smart grid. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so that should make it a smart grid. And now, hopefully things don't blow up on me, but we use a couple of merge blocks. Maybe, anyways, if it'll let me. The merge blocks have been a little, I don't know, finicky lately. But I'm gonna back up. I should probably back up with this guy too, in case the whole thing decides to blow up. Why are you not merging? Okay. So then we go up to here and drop myself off on there. And then we disconnect. And we're good to go. Okay. All right, so that worked out well. Okay, good to go. So we now have two separate grids, and that will work out quite nicely, I think. And we are locked down there, so this is now locked to the planet as a separate grid, so we should be good to go. Okay, so fun times. And then I'll figure out how to get everything kind of working, I guess, for now. But I guess now all we need to do is just continue to build this down. Really, dude? It's annoying. And then the bug that causes the projection that you're seeing, the outlined in green, not to show up when you're building from a cockpit is still there. But it seems to be very temperamental. And sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. When it's not, I find that just kind of getting out of the cockpit does sort of help a little bit. Let's try not to blow everything up here. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay, so that will work for that. All right. So we now have our separate grid. It is locked to the ground. And then I'm going to take a note from London. At least their subway systems. And I'm going to create, actually I'm going to drop the elevator down first, just to make sure that everything kind of lines up. We're at 64% charge, okay. Okay, so we're gonna reset this, drop it back down. We'll see how this fits in here. It should be fine. Yeah, that's not even gonna hit. Okay. So that'll be good there. Looks like it still has to relax a little bit, which is fine. Okay. So now that I know that this is in fact a different subgrid, I am going to make sure that I leave a gap here. And then I'm going to put signs saying mind the gap or something like that. Something along those lines anyways. And then, and actually, you know what? If we do the catwalk plates here, we need construction components. Okay. Do you have any construction components? I don't think it's going to. And I'm not going to really have access to anything else, which kind of sucks. I guess the only thing that I got is to bring the elevator back up again. So let's go ahead and reverse it again. And then as far as the jerkiness of the elevator, I'm sure that there is a setting that I can do either on the pistons or on the rotors to where like it'll kind of smooth out. But that's just going to require some playing around with. But I mean, for right now, I mean, it works just fine. So it's a little wobbly, but I'm kind of okay with that. And we're down at the bottom. And it kind of centers itself a little bit as it goes down. And we're good to go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So if I do this, then I won't have to put the mind the gap signs there, because there won't be one. 2 more. And then this will make one of those blocks, and then we'll make this into one of these blocks. And then, I don't know, I think that's good, right? And then as far as this gap here, because this is coming down, there's not really much I can do. If I put anything like across here, I mean, I suppose I could put something on here that goes over the edge. And that would probably work. So maybe I'll do that. So let's go ahead, and it's not gonna let me. Of course not. Oh wait, no, hold on, I gotta flip it around. There we go. Yeah, we'll just put it in the middle areas. Okay, so now we can go across here. We don't have to worry about that gap there. We do have to worry about this one, but I'm worried that if I put it over too far, it might hit this. But then again, if it does hit that, it should just center itself even better. So that should be fine. And then I could get fancy and put this on something that'll kind of like flip up and make like a gate edge or something, but I'm too lazy for that. I mean, I might do it in the future, but for now, meh. I don't think I really need it. This is fine as is. Okay, so then we can go from here to here to here. And then, interestingly enough, like this is actually 3 separate grids. It's kind of hilarious. So if I were to do this here, that would just make things a little bit more hilarious. Because then we have this grid, which isn't connected to this grid technically. And then we've got all of that stuff going through there, so we can still transfer power and all of our supplies and stuff to down here if we need to. But like I said, it is a separate grid, so that should help things work a little better. And yeah, once again, it is hurting to talk, so I think I'm going to end this one a little early as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you want to use this idea for your elevators, please, by all means, do so. If you wanted to use this for something like for personal transport, or for like a personal elevator, same basic concept, but you know, if you wanted to use the chains or whatever, if you had like a very long distance to go, but you could use just a single chain and then just kind of have that centered on whatever box you're in, and then just have a single chain moving you up and down, which is how a normal elevator works. But for this one, because you know I need to fit stuff in here, and I don't know how tall it's going to be, I decided to go with 2 instead. But yeah, and then that's kind of all you need over there. I'm sure this will work for small grid too. So if you wanted to do something small grid with this, you know, process, I'm sure that would work just fine as well. So there you go, Space Engineers, additional elevator method if you choose to use it. If not, you don't have to, but it's there, it works, and yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you have any comments on this, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you have suggestions for changes, improvements, whatever, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.